Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. So it's currently 2:38 a.m., but I really wanted to talk about something. So as you will see, I'm back in my room. I'm back for Labor Day weekend, so I'm going to start cranking out YouTube videos. If you see for the next few months that there's a bunch of videos that are all in this room, it's because I recorded a bunch of videos here in like 2 days. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something which I've made a similar video about how AI content is taking over YouTube, which is true. But there's a very specific type which I'm seeing, which is taking over YouTube, and it's also taking over Twitter. And it's like this kind of Nietzsche slop. And this personally offends me because I am very interested in Nietzsche. I have read Nietzsche. I'm interested in what he has to say about the world, because that's he had interesting things to say. Very different things to say, and he had a very odd worldview. So I think it's interesting to talk about Nietzsche and read Nietzsche, but unfortunately, there's been a lot of YouTube channels I'm seeing pop up where they'll all use AI art, and they'll use what sounds like AI written scripts, and they're talking about Nietzsche, but it's like no one knows anything about Nietzsche. Something odd is that no one understands Nietzsche at all. Nietzsche, some people think he was a nihilist. Some people think he was an ethno-nationalist who predated fascism. Some people think that he was a proto-liberal who, if he was around today, he would support trans rights. Some people think this about him, some people think that about him. Some people think he was an atheist, some people think he was secretly a pagan. Some people think he was the Antichrist himself. So there's obviously a lot of different things you can think about Nietzsche. I've heard a lot of different things. But I'm going to just tell you to ignore most online content about Nietzsche, because a lot of it is slop. A lot of it's slop. There's a lot of slop out there. There's a lot of people who try to claim that they're Nietzschean or something, and then they spread these ideas that are uniquely their own and try to pretend like it's something he would have said, and it's just not at all. And I think the problem is definitely on YouTube, with people being like, oh, Nietzsche says this, so therefore this, and they'll have all these AI art in the background. I'm not going to name names because that seems silly for a channel my size, but it's just like, cut that out. Like, let's cut that out. So here's what I encourage you to do. After watching this, I encourage you to read Nietzsche. Not only should you read Nietzsche, you should read him in German, because there's a lot of things that get lost in translation. A lot of things. And not only should you read Nietzsche in German, you should read other translations of him and compare those other translations. Because once you compare translations, you realize, oh, sometimes even the author will be biased and will put their own spin on what he has to say. And then once you start doing this, you'll get a better understanding of Nietzsche. Not only that, but you should look at the historical context of him. Look at how he lives. Look at his life, what was going on in Germany and Europe at the time. Look into his influences. Read French literature, French philosophy. Read Enlightenment philosophy. Read David Hume. Read Rousseau. Read the ancient Greek playwrights and poets. Read Homer. Read Plato, Aristotle, but big emphasis on the playwrights, because that was literally what his first book was about. So read the ancient Greeks. Read some of the Romans. Read the Bible, because that is actually, a lot of his critiques are about Christianity. And in order to understand what he's critiquing, you should probably understand Christianity. So yeah, read the Bible, read French literature, as I already mentioned, read French philosophy, read Goethe, read John Locke, read all the things, read everything that influence, read Richard Wagner, listen to Richard Wagner. You have to understand who was influencing him if you want to understand him. You have to understand the historical context, what was going on in the world if you want to understand him. And yeah, that's just everything. So anyway, if you want to actually understand Nietzsche, do all the things. And also if you want to have your own ideas of your own, do all those things, because that will help you develop your own thoughts and your own thinking and your own ideas. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.